Hey guys, I'm Grace Torie, and you're listening to That Girl, the podcast. Grab a beverage of choice and settle in because the new episode is starting now. Hey guys, what is up? It's your girl, Grace Torie, and I'm back with a whole new podcast episode. You guys, it has been a day. I think that today confirmed to me that my life is still a mess and not all good days can be good days, not all days can be good days, but we're good, we're rolling, and it's kind of on theme with today's topic, so it's okay. I mean, I'll live through it for today's, podcast, for the content. But today's episode is all about how to be your best asset rather than your worst enemy. So we are going to jump into that, but before we do, of course, we have to do a life update. So the reason why I'm saying my life was a mess and all of that good stuff is because today was wild. So I had to do a drug screening for my new job, which I am fine with doing, obviously, but it was an adventure. I didn't realize that the testing site was at the hospital because usually they're in like offices, and I got lost in the hospital. It's fine. Ended up turning like a 10-minute thing into a 2-hour thing, but it's fine. Everything's fine. So I left there and then I went to the pharmacy and the pharmacy was closed. It's fine. Again, they were closed for lunch. So I ended up going over to like one of my favorite shops and just looking around, and that was fine. But yeah, just a wild time. I also tried this new coffee from one of my favorite coffee shops, and it was supposed to be like sweet, but it wasn't sweet at all, and I was too nice to ask for something different or to change it up. So just one of those days where it feels like you try to do something to like make things better and then it actually gets worse. So I'm fine. Like, it wasn't a bad day by any means. I know this sounds like first world, but it just like felt off. The vibes felt off today. So here I am. I ended up coming home and meditating and then taking a little nap because sleep is very important and it can cure anything. Now I'm back at it. I'm gonna do this and then I'm gonna clean my office. So it's okay. We're having a good day today. It's a very messy, realistic day. But for life updates, I'm trying to think if there's anything else going on. I do start my new job on Monday. I'm really excited for that. I think I got everything ready to go for that, so that's exciting. Luna did eat my only pair of like professional work shoes that I have, so that sucks. But other than that, I'm good to go. I don't think we really have anything else planned or going on right now. So yeah, I think that's literally it for life updates. Oh, I forgot to mention, Luna and I both, and Josh, we all have horrible allergies right now. So we're all three taking Benadryl like a lot. I'm trying to only take it at night because it makes you tired, but I do want to mention it because I'm sniffling. My voice sounds kind of weird. If there's any like cough or anything, I'll probably edit as much out as I can, but that's pretty much what that is. I don't know where our allergies came from. Yesterday, just all three of us started literally internally dying. So it's good, everything's fine, but that's probably why we're not doing anything and we don't really feel very good. But we'll be fine. It's just some allergies. Getting into today's episode, I'm not sure if I'm gonna title it "You're Your Best Asset" or "You Are Your Worst Enemy" or something in between, but that's basically what we're covering, what this means and how this affects you pretty much, and ways that you can become your best asset and stay away from self-sabotage. Let's just jump right in. The first bullet point that I have is you control what affects you. So the question is, are you gonna allow things to just disturb your peace that don't deserve to? The other day I was listening to the new Call Her Daddy and Hailey Bieber episode, and I really liked how she worded, they don't deserve to disturb my energy, so why would I let them? Because I have always thought about like, protect your energy. I wish that people wouldn't do this, that don't deserve to, like, they don't deserve to bother me. And it's kind of like saying, like, you know that saying how like when you forgive someone, it's for you and not for them because you are healing yourself? Like, when you don't forgive someone, you're basically just staying angry and it doesn't affect them any. So it's kind of that mindset of like, the person who is disturbing your energy, like, that doesn't affect them at all. It affects you. Do they even deserve to be doing that? Is it even worth your time to get upset about? Because you decide what bothers you, what doesn't bother you, what to focus on, what not to focus on. There was a quote, and I can't remember what it is. Literally, I used to have it hanging in my room, and I saw it today on someone's Instagram. So let me see if I can find it really quick. I can't find it, but it's basically around, it's like the quote of, there can be like a super crazy storm going on outside of a ship, but it doesn't affect the ship unless the waters get inside. And similar to that, nothing can affect you unless it gets inside of you. I definitely butchered that. It's way more beautiful the original way, but that is something that I'm really like talking about, and just like being intentional with who you allow to disrupt your energy, as well as what you put energy into. So that's just the first bullet point, and like really considering who deserves your time and your energy, and you know, all of those good things. Next is your self-perception is absolutely everything. How you view yourself is absolutely everything, because it changes what opportunities you take, what opportunities you don't take, how much time you put into yourself and your goals, and how much time you don't, what you spend your time on. I mean, if you think that you deserve to be the CEO of a company, you're gonna do things that are drastically different if you think that the only thing that you deserve is to stay in an entry-level job that isn't gonna, you know, that doesn't really serve you and you're not happy at for the rest of your life. What you think you are worthy of is what you're gonna ultimately end up getting back, because that's what you're putting all of your energy and time thinking and into, and subconsciously it's what you're literally pushing out like into the world, like the opportunities that are coming back to you, how you are working every day. It's all reflecting this. So like I mentioned, you are your best asset. You know yourself better than anybody else, but with that, you're also your biggest critic. You know the things that you think may not be as beneficial as anybody else. And I really want to encourage you that starting out, when you are thinking about what you're good at, what you're not good at, what your assets are, what your weaknesses are, don't get so caught up on critiquing yourself, because guess what? Everybody else is already so caught up on critiquing themselves, they're not noticing the things that you are getting caught up with. And as soon as you realize that, you can get ahead of the curve and start worrying about things that like actually matter, because no one else, I promise you, no one else is noticing what you're noticing. And like I mentioned, they're so caught up in themselves and their own like things that they're not happy about, or they're happy about, or whatever, that they're not noticing you and those small things that you are like microscope, like honed in on. Also, these bullet points are kind of all over the place. There's not an order. It's a little bit of hodgepodge. It all relates to the same thing. But oh, did you guys see that? I just like flipped my pen. But I do want to let you guys know that it's a little bit hodgepodgey. Like, I felt like the transition from that one bullet point to this one was kind of all over the place. But like I said, it all relates to the same thing. I think that one thing that I kind of mentioned is the most important step when working towards having yourself as your best asset and believing you're worthy and all of those, empowering yourself, is to take your power back and agree that you do deserve the world and you are worthy of the world, and then take steps to get the world. And whatever you're, you know, whatever you're looking for, achieve your wildest dreams, agree that you deserve that and then work towards it. So ways that you can do that, those first steps, is only keep people around who deserve to be there and have proven to you that they want to be a part of your life to begin with. And it should be a what's the word that they use? Is it symbiotic? I think it's a symbiotic relationship where both people, animals, whatever relationship it is, are receiving benefits. It shouldn't be one-sided. It should be mutual. So if you feel like you're the only one putting any effort in, anything like that, have a conversation and see if it's, you know, relationships take effort, they take time, they take energy. So if it's not beneficial, then you don't need to be wasting energy on that when it can go towards another relationship that could make you so much happier. The next thing is take steps to honor yourself and your body, whether that's mentally by going to therapy or meditating, you doing affirmations, things like that, or working out because your body, you know, deserves to be able to work at its highest level potential, as well as eating healthy and feeding your body the nutrients it deserves to function properly. Do things that honor yourself rather than, you know, I'm not talking about going to the mall and buying quote unquote modest clothing, because I know when I grew up, grew up in a Christian, you know, school, everyone would say, honor yourself by wearing modest clothing. That's not what I'm talking about. That was a little bit of a tangent there. I think I had some pent up anger. I don't know where that came from. But what I am talking about is honoring yourself by eating healthy and doing things that your body is going to thank you for. Your body doesn't really thank you for the type of clothing that you wear, but your body thanks you for how you eat, how you work out, therapy, being, you know, having a higher cognitive function. Make sure you are allowing yourself the proper sleep, food, all the things that are going to help you function at your highest level, because your body will pay you back and you'll feel better. Honestly, you'll have a higher perception of yourself and you'll feel more worthy simply because you take care of yourself, and it just improves everything, including your mood and such. All those things. Okay, another thing is make yourself feel worthy by doing things that prove to you that you are. So for me, I grew up in the age of like Victoria's Secret, like this and that, and I know that outwardly it doesn't matter what you look like, but for me, outwardly I feel way more confident when I'm wearing something that makes me feel beautiful. So whether that's a Aerie workout set, because we've all made the transition now over to Aerie, or doing skincare at night so that my skin is glowing, and eating foods like antioxidants to make my skin glow. Like, when you feel beautiful, your confidence is going to skyrocket. So it's okay to splurge a little money on, for example, really nice skincare that's probably a little bit more expensive, because it's not like you're buying it every day. That, you know, I have nicer skincare and it lasts a little bit longer than obviously some other things, and usually you get what you pay for, so it does last longer. But doing those things that make you feel beautiful and more confident, and even I feel like splurging on like spending the money to buy nice skincare or go get my nails done, get my hair cut, it makes me feel confident, and I'm investing in myself, which makes me feel worthy. When I say to myself, it's okay that you're spending money on something like this because it's important, because at the end of the day, how you feel about yourself is one of the most important relationships probably the most important relationship you'll ever be in. So when you agree and you do spend that money on yourself, you're confirming that. And I'm not talking about going out every day and buying money, or buying things, not buying money. Like, I've been there. I've been at the point where I'm like, I'm gonna buy a Starbucks and I'm gonna go to Home Goods and I'm gonna do this every single day, and I'm gonna spend $100 every single day. And I promise you that money runs out quick, and you may be a little bit happier, but it's not the same. But when you get things that last, that are sustainable, that make you feel more confident, you're gonna feel it. And like I said, sustainable, if you're doing things that are helping the planet, like thrift shopping to get things that make you feel beautiful, you're also gonna feel better about helping the planet as well. Like shopping small, that's a good one. Like I mentioned, investing in yourself, that can be through therapy, that can be through getting your nails done, haircut, all the stuff I mentioned. You're gonna feel like you owe it you're gonna feel like you owe it to yourself, because you've already invested so much money that it's like, I can't quit now. I have to continue on this self-healing journey because I'm invested. And two, you're gonna feel 1,000 times better, so it's going to progress your healing journey. But while that's all said, and I think that it's definitely helpful, remember that at the end of the day, if all of that gets taken away, if getting your nails done, getting your hair cut at a bougie place, like the clothes, if all of that gets taken away, you still should feel worthy. So while you're working on this outwardly, and it may be a great way to kickstart that feeling, like kind of tricking yourself into being confident, you should still be working towards being confident from the inside, because at the end of the day, that's what matters. And if everything were to be taken away tomorrow, you would still be confident, which is really important. On that same note, it's really important to understand that you are human. So you may have days where you don't feel confident, and you know, like, if all of that gets taken away, it's gonna affect you. Like, you're not a robot. You're not someone who's just superhuman. I wish that we all were, and I mean, who knows, maybe there's a superwoman among us and she's just watching this video and she's secretly saving the world. But as far as I know, we're all human, and you really, the minute you accept that, life gets better. Because I know for me, I held myself up to such a high standard that it was unrealistic, like genuinely. And I felt like resting or having a bad day was wrong, and I was doing something wrong, or I wasn't working hard enough. But it's like, that's just part of being human. That's just part of life. So I really encourage you to acknowledge when you've had a bad day, like I did earlier, and you know, say, wow, today was kind of a mess. But while you may take a nap or just let it sink in and not get too hung up on it, but understand that it's okay, a phrase that I like to say is, yeah, today may have started off on the wrong foot, but it's still gonna be the best day. And even if the smallest thing happens that's like exciting or good, it really just puts me in a better mood, because I'm like, wow, this is that amazing thing that I was waiting for. The other day I was talking to my mom, and my mom texted me and was like, wow, today was the worst day. And I was like, wow, today was also the worst day for me. But then I texted her and said, but something amazing is gonna happen today. And I can't remember if like Josh got me like ice cream, or it was something really small. But I texted my mom and I was like, today was the best day. Today was amazing. Guess what happened? And like, even though it was small, I was so excited because I knew that amazing thing was coming and I was looking for it. And it doesn't matter how big or small it is. It doesn't have to be this extravagant thing. It can still be amazing. So I think having the mindset of, okay, the bad day has already happened and now the good stuff starts, it's so important. And I think it's like helpful because you still acknowledge the bad, but you're also ready for the good. Like I mentioned, it's also important to have those bad days to know when a good one or an even better great one comes along. That's what they're there for, and you learn more from bad than you do from good, unfortunately. Like, if we were all in the good day every day, we would never learn anything, because every day would be great. Like, we wouldn't want to move or grow, and the growth comes when you're uncomfortable or when you want to change something. The next PowerPoint is feel empowered enough to say no when you deserve better. I called that a PowerPoint, the next bullet point. But Peyton from the Note to Self podcast calls it ruthlessly editing your life. And she has talked about being brutal. And it's something that I've definitely adopted, and now I'm gonna share with you. So it falls into feeling empowered enough to say no when you deserve better, because I look at it from, I'm editing my life to get the bad out and have the good. And you can't do that if you're like tiptoeing around everybody. Learning to say no is so important. I talked about this in my last episode, but when you learn to say no, your life truly changes. An example of feeling empowered enough to say no when you deserve better is if a guy asks you out on a date and you feel like this guy has done some things that don't qualify him of being worthy enough to have you. Like, he's, you know, done some things you either don't agree with or that are bad. Another example is getting a job offer when you know that you deserve more, and learning to say no because you know that better job offer will come along. I literally just did that, and I talked to you guys about it. Just understanding your worth and knowing what aligns with what you're worthy of and what doesn't, and being able to say no when it doesn't. It's so, 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 so important. Another one, never underestimate the power of sleep. I know I said this earlier, but girlies, a good sleep, man, it'll change your life. It makes your skin cleaner. When you're asleep, I like to think of it as your body is not only resting, but it's healing itself. So if you don't allow yourself to sleep, you're not only taking away rest from your body that literally needs it to function, but you're taking away the opportunity for your body to heal from the day before. And the longer you wait, the harder it's gonna be to keep going, and the harder it's gonna be for your body to recover. So healing, sleeping. It's all very important, and get on it, sis. I'm watching you from wherever I'm at, and I'm, you know, go to bed. I don't know. Today is just very like delusional. I'm like delusional at this point. I don't know what is happening to me. I am just such a mess. I've hit the delusional part of the day. So the next bullet point is to find an empowering routine that works for you. The key is it works for you. It doesn't have to work for anybody else. It doesn't have to match anybody else's. It's important to understand that as long as you feel like you're worthy and the routine is healthy, it doesn't matter. Like, for example, I follow a lot of podcast girlies, and most of them live by the beach or in the sun, and that's fine. But a big part of their routine, especially like their self-care Sundays or whatever, is going to the beach, laying out by the pool, things that I cannot do even if I tried. Like maybe in the summer, but pools are like not, you have to like buy a pass. Like it's not common to have a backyard pool here. So for me to sit and be like, oh man, I need to incorporate the beach into my routine is kind of silly, because that's literally gonna happen maybe once a year when I go to the beach. But for me, my way of getting out into nature and meditating that way and having self-care is going to ride my horse. And most people, a lot of people, can't do that. So for them to look at me and say, oh, I need to ride a horse for my self-care Sunday, that would be unrealistic. So finding what works for you is so important. I used to think that I had to do exactly what everybody else did, word for word. And while there's definitely tips and there's products and there's things that you can take from that, your aesthetic is not going to be the exact same as anybody else's. Your routine, your lifestyle is not going to be the same as anybody else's. And that's fine. We're all different. You can't just like expect everybody to be the same, expect everything to go the exact same way. There's one right way and one wrong way to do self-care. You need to find what makes you feel empowered. For me, I hate working out. I've tried hot girl walks and I still go on them, but I feel like kind of unsafe because there's a lot of crime in my city. Well, I feel like there's crime in everybody's city, but it's been like really spotlighted lately, so I've been really nervous. And unless I go with my big dogs, I don't like going. So I feel a lot safer going to Planet Fitness. Whereas most people are like, man, I like hot girl walks because I get to go outside. And that's fine. There's no right or wrong way to do it. As long as you are, like I said, empowering yourself, getting out of bed and doing it, and you feel good and it's healthy, obviously, then there is absolutely nothing wrong. So I encourage you to find like an empowering routine that works for you. So another thing that is important is, on the same note, understand that none of us are living the same life, nor do we experience the same things. Every single person's point of view is different. No one has the same thoughts as you when it comes to something. They may be similar and they may have the same beliefs, or, you know, whether that's political, religious, whatever. But at the end of the day, they haven't walked in your shoes, not even a minute, not even, you know, not a lifetime for sure. So you are the only you and they are the only them. And while you can sympathize for them, you haven't lived their life, they haven't lived yours. So it's really important to not criticize people for the way that they think, nor expect them to understand how you're feeling or the experiences that you've had. They can try, and maybe they've had similar experiences, but no one has had the exact same experience, felt the exact same things that you have. That being said, it's really important to know that while people can offer you advice, the best person who knows yourself is you. You are with yourself 24/7, 365, 366 sometimes. Like, you know yourself better than anybody else. And at the end of the day, your intuition knows what's best for you. While you may be clouded by fear of judgment or fear of, you know, whatever, you deep down know what's best for you. And advice is great. It gives you insight. It makes you look at things through lenses, but trust yourself, because no one else knows the things you do at the same degree you do and have felt the same things, gone to the same things. It's just how it is, and it's beautiful. But I think a lot of people forget that a lot. Like, we all aren't going to think the exact same thing about something because we all haven't been conditioned the exact same way. The next bullet point, this is for my girlies who hate change, my little Tauruses. Hey girls, my girls with anxiety, what's up? You know, we all. Sorry if you hear Luna, he is just not feeling it today. He's like being really protective, and it's kind of making me wonder what's going on. Maybe there's someone's walking like big dogs outside and he's just like, no. He gets really anxious. Like, has anyone ever met like a 70-pound German Shepherd who has severe anxiety? Like, he just like wants to cuddle all day. He gets like, it's almost like he's a baby and he's afraid to be alone. Like, it's not separation anxiety. He's fine to be alone, but he's afraid to be like separated. Like, something bad's gonna happen. I don't know. Really weird. Kind of a tangent. But, okay, this next bullet point is be flexible. Change is constantly happening. It's inevitable. The sooner you become comfortable with adapting, regardless of what situation, whether it's work, life, your routine getting changed, the harder it's going to be to throw you off when these changes do come. So change sucks. You know I hate change. I am not a change girl. But I also know that the more comfortable I've become with it and the more I've accepted it and almost planned for it, then the harder it's become for me to feel shaken or get thrown off, or, you know, negativity to come in and impact my day-to-day routine. So being flexible is super, super important, and just be aware of it and know it happens. It's okay. Change is okay. We all experience it. Everything is gonna be fine. I know we all get anxious, but everything is gonna be fine. Next is make sure you are positively impacting all areas of the wellness wheel. So let's talk about our 8 areas of the wellness wheel. Are you positively influencing your social wellness, emotional wellness, spiritual wellness, intellectual wellness, physical wellness, environmental wellness, financial wellness, and occupational wellness? I know that's a lot of different areas, but I don't ever think that something stays the same. I'm more in the mindset of, if you're not positively influencing it, it's negatively being influenced. Or like, it's like a muscle. If you're not exercising it, then it's gonna atrophy. So you need to kind of question, like, are all of these areas being worked, or any of them being neglected? Which ones? How can I improve it? And it doesn't have to be anything crazy, but like going out for a drink with one friend a week, or doing multiple things at once. For example, like your wellness or your spiritual and physical wheel can both be exercised by going for a walk outside. I think being in nature is really spiritual. I think a lot of people would agree with me on that. Also, your occupational and financial wheel are being positively affected by working and having a high salary. So a lot of things intertwine, but it's important to know. And if you feel like an area is being neglected, working on it. I definitely think my social area has been neglected lately, and I'm working on improving that. So if you know me in real life or you're in Lexington, let's hang out. But it's really important, because I've felt like the impact of one area being neglected, you just don't feel aligned. You don't feel whole. You feel like a piece of you is just not working. So definitely work on all of those so that you are operating at your highest level of wellness. Like I mentioned, or did I mention this? I don't know if I did, but I can do a whole episode on the wellness wheel. We talked about it in school when I did my community and leadership development major. So if you guys want me to do a whole thing on it, either comment below if you're on YouTube, or go on my Instagram and comment on the most recent post that you would like for me to dive into it, because it's actually super interesting, and how it affects you is super interesting as well. It's very like scientific. I'm here for it. The last bullet point that I have is, if you don't love something, don't keep doing it. Obviously there's some things we have to do, like, you know, if you don't love cleaning, you still have to clean your house, but like you can do things like listen to music or things like that. But there are things that you don't love, and you need to question yourself, what does it serve? Because there's things that I've done my whole life simply because it's been a routine that my family does. And when I sat down and was like, wait, why am I doing this? The real answer was like, because I've done it my whole life. You can switch things up and do them differently. You don't have to do them the same way that your family has done them. You don't have to do them the same way that you've always done them. And you can stop doing them completely. As long as it's not something that you have to do, like keep your environment clean or go to work. Like, you can shake it up and change things so that you do love them. And on that flip note, if there, you know, if you do love something and you're not currently doing it, why don't you just include it? I know that sounds like a no-brainer, but I have mentioned that I hate change, and I get so focused on the day-to-day routine that I'll hear something and I'll be like, wait a minute, why haven't I been doing that? I love doing that. Like I'm trying to think of something. Like going to ride my horse. I got really busy all through college, and it was really hard to go ride her. And then I graduated, and I was like, why haven't I gone out to the barn? I love going out to the barn. And it was just like a routine to like go see her once or twice a month. And so I just hadn't been going. And I was like, wow, I really need to break this and create a new routine. So it's something as simple as that. You know, if there's a hobby you love singing, go to karaoke night. You love doing this, go to that. Like, incorporate it into your life. It doesn't sound like rocket science, but we just get so caught up in the day-to-day that we forget. So making a life that you absolutely love, you're passionate about, and it makes you happy is what it's all about. And I feel like understanding how to be your best asset, your best advocate, how to feel worthy that you deserve these things is the best way to do that. The best avenue to go down, I guess. So with that being said, I think that's everything. I hope you guys really enjoyed this episode. I love you guys so much. If you're new here, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, or follow depending on what platform you're on. If you could leave a rating or review, it would mean the absolute world to me. Leave your Instagram and I will shout you out because I love you guys so much and the community that we are building. If you would like to become a part of the community of That Girls, working to all become the best version of ourselves, what are you waiting for? I post every Wednesday and Sunday, and I am posting on the Instagram all the time, trying to post on the TikTok more often, but I think that's it. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next episode. Bye guys.